Good morning to some, good afternoon to others, and welcome to our spring gathering organized by Calgary and Riverside congregations. And big thank you to Brother Jack and Ralph for putting that together and making things happen. It always amazes me, like the technology we got, especially Zoom, that we can communicate over such a long distances, and so the space, time, it doesn't matter. We can see each other and we can fellowship with each other. It's amazing, because when I came to Canada, something like 40 years ago, we got only small computer. It was VIC-20, and after Commodore 64 and Atari and some other ones, but now we can communicate each other, and Zoom is the kind of perfect way to do it. And we can also text to each other, one square to the other. So it's amazing. Dear brethren, our motto for our gathering is from 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16 and 17. All scripture is inspired by God and profitable for teaching and reproof, for correction, for training in righteousness, so that the man of God may be adequate, equipped for every good work. When I read that, it always kind of reminds me of the prep work for spreading the good news. Or if it's not feasible now, we may not have the opportunity, but definitely will prepare us for the work in a God's kingdom. And when we look around, the God's kingdom is coming closer and closer. We got already 2 major wars. Now we got war in Europe. Ukraine and Russia are in conflict. So we can see it that all the nations are seems to be trying to put the fingers in that pie, try to support or be against. So everybody tries to get involved. And that kind of reminds me what Jesus answered to apostles when they are asking, what's going to be the sign of God's kingdom coming? And he said, there's going to be wars and rumors of wars. So we got the war brewing already there, but just as bad are rumors of wars. And we can see that, like I hear on the news, that even in Germany, which is far away from it, we were told, citizens, we were told to prepare themselves and have a 10-day supplies of water and 10-day supplies of food. And we, in Canada, we are far away from that conflict. But the rumors of war affect us as well. A couple of weeks ago, actually maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I spoke to a fellow who works at the bank, and he said that one day, and it was already for a few days in a row, there was withdrawal of cash, $500,000 from just one branch. People don't know what to expect. People are worried. They are unsure of themselves and what may happen. And it seems like the money in their own pockets are kind of better than in the bank. At least they got the control of it. But on the other hand, money at home are subject to burglary. So now they have to worry about that. How are they going to protect their savings? So that rumors of war are just as bad. So we can see the God's kingdom coming. And if it does come, we're going to hit lots of teachers, because that highway of holiness is going to be crowded. And at one time we asked Sister Carol how the resurrection or coming from the grave would look like. And she estimated that's going to be more than 2,000 people coming every day. And they're going to be of great help. I mean, needing great help. Someone has to teach them. And Apostle Paul in Hebrew chapter 5 and verse 12, he is talking to some Christians there, to some believers, and he was kind of disappointed in them. He was saying that by now you should have a solid food, but it seems like didn't grow up. You still need the milk. And I was prepared to give you solid food, but you are not ready for it. And he's saying, by now you ought to be a teacher. So the teaching is the ultimate goal of our Christian life, to spread the good news, to share that with others, to be a teacher. And the same idea was expressed in letters of Roma to Romans. When chapter 10, verse 14, when when Apostle Paul was saying of necessity to be saved, you have to believe in Jesus. And he's saying, how would they believe in him whom they have not heard? And how will they hear without a preacher? And how will they preach unless they are sent? And now we are coming to motto on our meeting, how they can be sent if they are not adequately equipped for good work. And that's our motto. So we need to be equipped and adequately prepared for it. And here it's not only for brothers to be prepared for it, but also for sisters. And at that moment, maybe I will share a short story of Brother Evans. You probably remember him. Brother Evans from Boulder, Colorado. And when he was in Poland, he was going by the name Ivanichko, and he was from class of Dzierżoniów. And one time he visited us, I asked him, you were evangelist in Poland. What did you do to evangelize? Because going from class to class, from congregation to congregation, is not really evangelize, because those people know the truth already. You evangelize people who don't know the truth. So he said that late in 60s and early 70s, him and Brother Zwirko from Dzierżoniów, and I guess he was the one who purchased the tape recorder. Those were the big boxes. I think the name of it was Tesla. And he said that was weighing like 30 pounds plus. So there was two of them carrying that from village to village. And every Sunday afternoon, they were going there and play the reel-to-reel. That was the tape recorder, reel-to-reel, the discourses and the hymns for people who wanted to listen. And they have an audience, he said. And that time there was a communist time in Poland. And so the radio, there was no religious broadcasting through radio or TV. So people were fascinated with some kind of religious speaking from the little box, and they listened to it. But he said, after quite a few of those trips, he said, sisters, our older sisters brought more people to the truth to our class than two of us. And he said, we know that we knew the truth. We knew how to preach. We got the know-how. We got the technology. We were ready to answer all kinds of questions, but they brought more people than us. So there is work for everyone, for brothers and sisters. And on the other hand, I will try to sometimes imagine myself, how would that God's kingdom look like, especially the early phase, when people were coming from the graves. And I kind of try to see like one person maybe coming out, 18-year-old or so. He was killed. Now he's resurrected. He's coming from the grave. A couple of days later, some other place, another person is resurrected. And that was his killer. So that 18-year-old man go to the other one and complains, why did you kill me? I was ready to finish my school. I was ready to open up my family, cherish the life, start a new job. And you cut that in half. So he's looking for justice. He's looking for that tooth for a tooth, eye for an eye. But there's no justice to be found. Because in God's kingdom, there won't gonna be any killing. Because God said there won't gonna be any killing on my mountain. So what's he gonna do? He's confused, disappointed, discouraged. And then we come to play. We have to give him the shoulder to cry, strong arm to lean on, explain to him the Lord's Prayer, that if you don't forgive, it won't going to be forgiven. We have to tell him that for his sin, Jesus died before he was even committing any sins. That through his stripes, we are healed. He needs all that. He needs comfort, cheering, telling him what to do, which way to go. Because, dear brethren, to know the truth, it doesn't take much. With the new body, new brain, to conquer that 6 volumes of Brother Russell and 17 volumes of Brother Johnson and the Tabernacle Shadow with all those posts and boards and hooks and covers with different colors, we just have to memorize. And with that new brain power, there won't going to be any problem. But I can see the problem with characters. There's going to be people coming up with bad habits, like dishonest, bullying, selfish, bossy, greedy, proud, mean, cruel, ignorant, undisciplined, lazy, disobedient, disrespectful, quarrelsome. But to correct all that is only first step. The next step would try to be develop positive traits of character. And that would be kind, generous, hospitable, polite, reliable, patient, honest, loyal, forgiving, practice godliness, and love. Dear brethren, we got 2 days of spiritual food in front of us. The tables are set. We got 19 speakers with a variety of subjects. We got everything set to prepare us to be adequately equipped for every good work, now and in God's kingdom. So I wish you all blessing in participating of that gathering, and may the Lord bless us all. Thank you.